What we're going to work on now is the embellishments for the house. This would be all of the flowers and the leaves because they do take a little bit of time. Set this aside. The other part that is an embellishment for the house that I'm really not going to cover is the doors and the windows, including the shutters. These come from a mold, which is available anywhere. Amazon is where I got mine. And I found out about this particular fairy door mold and this one here because I went and did some research on how to build a fairy house. And Hobble Creek Pottery, Tiffany, she does an excellent tutorial on how to use fondant silicone molds. So I'm not going to reinvent the wheel there because she's much better probably at explaining it than I am. What I'm going to do though, however, right now is I'm going to make my morning glories and my leaves. I purchased this set of leaves from a gentleman named Michael Hambridge, and he does Fired Arts Pottery, or Learn Fired Arts Pottery. You can also find him on YouTube. He also is often a contributor on Clay Shared. These are fabulous. I use these primarily with my pumpkins, and they're also the ones I used for this. I'm only going to make one of the leaves. I've already made several of them, and they're really fabulous because you just take and roll out some clay thinly, and you take and you press the leaf down into the clay, and then you just tear the clay away. He has all kinds of leaves. I have holly leaves. I have these. He does big leaves too. So if you're into wanting to make leaf bowls, and because you can always go collect leaves from nature, but his leaves, they're reusable. So I'm going to finesse the edges just a little bit, not too much because I don't want it too sticky, but again, the more I clean up now, the less I have to clean up later. And then you just grab a hold of the end and you start peeling it away, and you end up with this amazing veinage, and all of his leaves are taken from actual leaves. I believe that there are people who have sent them their own leaves so that he can create molds from them. And as I said, I've already created 4 other leaves for the next fairy house because I believe in working in odd numbers, so it'll have 5 leaves of varying sizes. Next, let me get this clay out of the way. I'm going to move on to making the morning glory flowers. I took the same round cookie cutter or biscuit cutter that I used for the mushroom steps, took the medium size and just cut out some circles. Flattening it out just a little bit, leaving more clay in the center because I'm going to need that to create the back of the flower, which will allow me to attach it to the house. Again, my pencil, and I'm just very carefully, I got a little overzealous there and poked through my clay, but that's okay because you're going to pinch it anyway. And you just maneuver it. You just keep maneuvering it. You can use whatever flower you like. I like the idea of a morning glory because I like the colors, and I think it'll contrast well when I actually start glazing the, should have used the sharp end of the pencil because it gives me a cone. got a little bit too much lines in the clay there. So I'm going to smooth it out with my brush. Then I'm going to maneuver my petals on how I would like them to look. Morning Glories have somewhat of a trumpet shape to them. So I have this. Then I'm going to take the pencil and just draw lines out to the outer edge of the circle. And then I have Morning Glory. Clean it up just a little bit. Get all of you don't want to call them cracks. Clay gets lines in it when you move it. They're not really cracks, but I use just a little bit of water on my paintbrush, and it allows me to smooth those out. Again, I try to clean everything up as I go, so that way as it sets, because I'm going to leave these just a little bit, it'll be easier to work with them when I go to attach them to the house. The other thing I'm going to do, because I have this nub at the back, I'm going to flatten that out. Because that's the part of the flower that I'm going to be attaching to the top of the house. So it's going to end up somewhat like that. We have a flower. I will make, again, odd numbers. I think I did 5. 3 just isn't enough. 7 is a little bit of an overkill, so 5 it'll be. The other thing I'd like to show you is the making of the mushroom chimney stack. Same size as the flower. Took 2 circles, squeezing the edges out, just flatten it out just a little bit, giving it a little bit of a dome structure. Doing the same thing with the other one. So it's a little concave of a bowl. I'm gonna take my scoring tool and I'm gonna score the rims of each one of these, because I'm going to attach them to one another, and my goal is to trap just a little bit of air between the 2 pieces of clay, because I want it to have some volume. So I'm going to sandwich them together. It's kind of like making 2 pinch pots. And I'm going around the edges and squeezing, trying to fill any gaps in the clay. I'm going to take my fingers, get them a little wet, then come around the edge. Now again, this is going to trap air within it, so I can manipulate it, and it's not going, unless I really manipulate it, it's going to hold that air until I release it. and I will release it because you do not want to trap air inside a piece of pottery. It takes it longer to dry, and there's always the chance that when you're doing your firing, it'll explode. Not something that's fun. I've had that happen. Had it happen recently with a couple of the mushroom tops that I made. I did poke holes in them, but obviously when the needle tool came out, it closed in on itself. So I did have some unfortunate explosions within the kiln. Alright, so there's our mushroom cap. Okay, let it sit for a minute. Then I'm going to take another one of these round circles and I'm going to wrap it around this pencil. This is going to be the stem, and it's a little bit too much clay, so I'm going to shave a little bit of that off. I'm putting it around a pencil so that the inside of the stem of the chimney, it's not actually going to be used, is hollow. This is going to allow me to poke holes in the top of the fairy house and in the bottom of the mushroom so that air can dry out or more equally dry our mushroom chimney. So hopefully it doesn't explode. Just giving it a little bit of, lost my needle tool. I'm really bad about that. Use this. Oh, that's a carving tool. Don't know what I did with it. That's okay. I probably took it over to my wedging table and just forgot to bring it back. It's the wonderful thing about clay, though. There's multiple tools you can use to do lots of different things. So I have this little stump. I have this little guy here. I'm gonna figure out where I want him. Just pressing him in a little bit to make kind of an indentation, because I do want to give him some gills, and that'll give me the point to radiate out from. All of these appendages will be added to our house. It's going to be fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. I've discovered that I really like making these mushroom pottery pieces. They've inspired me. I didn't realize how much they would inspire me until I started making them, and now I just want to see where they'll take me. So that's ready. Randy brought me my needle tool because I need to poke holes in this lovely mushroom, and I'm poking multiples because I'm going to add this stem piece, and some of these will actually be covered. And I do not want the poor little darling to explode. So, a little bit of slip. Just wiggling it until it grips. Come back and clean it up. I'll have to fix my gills. Next to the stem. Just tugging a little bit, making sure it's All right. All of the appendages are ready. Now we can attach them to our house.